The 2026 World Cup final was decided on the pitch. Everyone saw that part. What nobody saw was the part that made the pitch performance possible. The dressing room. The 48 hours before kickoff. The conversations that happened behind closed doors between players and coaches that determined the mental state both teams carried into the most important match of their careers. Here is exactly what happened and why it mattered. The dressing room before a World Cup final is not a tactical meeting. The tactics were set days earlier. The shape is decided. The press triggers are rehearsed. The set-piece routines are memorized. By the time both teams walk into their dressing rooms on the day of the final, the tactical work is done. What remains is the psychological work. And psychological work in the 48 hours before a final is what separates teams that perform from teams that freeze. The first element was the team meeting the night before. Every manager runs a different kind of pre-final team meeting. Some are tactical reviews. Some are motivational. Some are deliberately brief. The Champions manager in 2026 ran a meeting that did none of those things in the traditional way. The meeting was about clarity. Every player left that room knowing exactly what their job was. Not inspired, not emotional. Clear. Clarity reduces anxiety. Anxiety is the enemy of performance under pressure. The second element was individual conversations. The manager in 2026 did not address the squad as a group for the entire preparation period. Individual players received individual attention. The player carrying the most pressure got a specific conversation about pressure management. The player who had been in poor form in the previous match got a specific conversation about their role in the final. The substitute who might be asked to change the match in the second half had a conversation about exactly what scenario would trigger their introduction. Every player knew their place in the plan. Uncertainty kills performance. Certainty enables it. The third element was the pre-match dressing room itself. The hour before the final. The music, the atmosphere, the rituals. These are not accidents in a well-managed squad. They are designed. The environment that surrounds players in the final hour before they walk onto the pitch affects the physiological state they are in when the whistle blows. Heart rate, muscle tension, cognitive readiness. All of it is influenced by environment. The Champions dressing room in the final hour created the conditions for the performance that followed. The fourth element was what was not said. The manager who outthought everyone in 2026 understood that the final hour before a World Cup final is not the time for information. It is the time for trust. Trust in the preparation. Trust in the system. Trust in each other. Too much information in that final hour creates doubt. The best pre-match environments are calm, focused, ready. The final was won on the pitch. But the pitch performance was the result of a process that started in a room nobody was watching. That is where World Cup finals are actually decided. And if you want to understand the single kick from that final that made everything in that dressing room worth it, that penalty video is already on your screen. Watch it now. Subscribe. Right now. Do not miss what comes next. You're welcome.